Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds. Vroom, 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 vroom.
They're little cars.
They're teeny little cars.
They're little European cars.
Yeah, they're nice little like death race cars.
Yeah, that's cute. Hi, everyone.
Little spiky boy. Hello, everyone.
My name is David Bell.
My name's Tom Ryman.
And we just watched The Cars That Ate Paris.
Let me tell you something, Dave. Not the Paris I was expecting.
The future promises great things for our town. The light is at the end of the tunnel.
Welcome to Paris.
Very misleading. Before we get started, big old thank you to yet another Steven, our Patreon producer, who, for whatever reason, wanted us to watch this movie. Thank you so much.
Like you were saying, I can think of a few reasons.
Yeah, I can too, I guess. This is, all right, so you can only watch the, well, okay. Thank you, yet another Steven. Just want to emphasize my my gratitude.
Yes.
This can only be found on Daily Motion. I don't know what version is on Daily Motion because there are two versions of this, Tom.
Oh, okay. What are the two
Which one did you watch? Did you watch the one I sent you that was sent to us? Or okay, I think I so there is a version of this. So I want to go into some history. First of all, it's directed by Peter Weir.
Yeah.
He directed The Truman Show, Master and Commander, Dead Poet Society.
A few things. Yeah, it was I was watching this as the opening credits were unfolding. It says like written by Peter Weir. And I saw that and I was like, "Oh, huh." And then like the full realization of that sunk in. I was like, "Wait."
Huh.
Wait, did he direct this?
He sure did.
He sure did.
It's his first feature film.
Yeah.
It's Australian.
I would have guessed.
Yep. It flopped in Australia and it struggled to get a American release. They couldn't even get Roger Corman. Roger Corman was like, no. It was advertised as a it was they couldn't figure out how to advertise it. It was advertised at some point as a horror, as a comedy horror, and as an art film. Which is funny to me that they're like, I don't know, art film. It was finally re-edited for America entitled The Cars That Ate People, which is more misleading. It was 74 minutes long. They cut it way down for American release and added a narration.
Ugh. I definitely didn't see that version.
Yeah, apparently Stanley Kubrick liked this film, and I'm like, all right, Stanley.
I could see why.
Yeah, well, so it's a mess, right? Like, how'd you like this film?
I didn't like it, but I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah,
and I see a lot of it's really surreal, and I like genuinely see a lot of like a Clockwork Orange in this.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of problems, but I also my big take on this film,
or rather other way around, because this came out after Clockwork Orange. Sorry. Continue.
Right. This is a great candidate for a remake because I think that the overall premise of this film is actually could make a really good movie. This isn't that movie. I think this movie is at times really slow. It's like it's one of those movies.
It is painfully slow.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know why the people are doing what they're doing. It's bizarre at times, the motivations. I had to look up the plot because it was so slow that I would like drift away. Luckily I watched it twice for other reasons.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my mind was really wandering during this movie. It felt like a Star Trek episode. Like it felt like a weird planet, like one of those weird planets, like the Red Hour planet.
Yeah,
that they would touch down on from time to time.
Right, because like I'm not entirely sure I know what was happening. So I'm
not sure that I know what any of it means yet. I mean, right. I literally just watched this like earlier today.
Ooh, okay. We'll go through the plot because most people haven't watched it. That's all to say. Like, I understand the broad point of it. What I mean is like I don't understand like the relation, like the teenagers of the town, their relationship with the town, stuff like that. Where it was just
like general old versus new.
Right, but they also seem to be in league together.
Sort of, yeah.
I don't
like they're all benefiting from this enterprise, but there's still this heated rivalry, and they end up killing everybody. Like they end up killing each other.
Right. So the pitch is this: this town has probably the worst business model of any town, worst economic model. Because
I wonder how many other things they tried before they got to this one.
Yeah, the idea, and also this town will be ruined by highways. The moment the highway comes in, they're done. But the idea is and this was inspired by this type of town, is that it's a town that's like off the major road, and it's sort of I think supposed to be, in a way, like a metaphor. It's almost before its time for like speed trap towns. Like you've heard of towns where their entire economy is the highway goes through us.
One famous one near where I grew up.
In Florida, there's one in Florida where they literally stretched the town to cover the highway in this one little, like they changed their border so it looks like their town has a penis.
Sweet.
Yeah. And so the idea is it's this town that when people go through the town, they seemingly cause car accidents.
They cause car
I think that's
accidents.
what the young people do. And they're often deadly, but not always deadly accidents. The car crashes, and the grift of this town is that they then get to dismantle the car for parts, which can't be very lucrative.
Oh, it's not lucrative. They're just making Mad Max cars for themselves to bomb around town in. Like it's like this weird alternate dimension rural Australian version of like greasers.
Yeah. But like it feels like the mayor's in on it and stuff, and I don't know what the older people get, but and the cars, I don't know, man.
And the older people get like they're giving them the drivers. They're giving the drivers to the hospital because like the doctor there is a fucking mad scientist.
Yeah, he has a medical
drill. Like I gasped. Like he opens his locker. There's a drill in there with the little red cross on it.
That's the thing. It's not really like it's not like in Jason X where there's a medical machete that's like silver and sanitized. I would argue he doesn't have a medical drill. He has a regular drill that he put a red cross on.
Oh yeah, no, I
called a medical drill, and I'm like, that's.
I guess
you can't do that.
I didn't pronounce the quotation marks in medical heavily enough, I guess.
Yeah,
yeah.
So they're doing lobotomies on the drivers who are But again, it's sort of all to what end? Because all they do is they just have them in the hospital.
Well, he's doing like experiments. He mentions.
They're maniacs.
They're all like it's like a Twilight Zone episode. It's a little Children of the Corn too. Like I mentioned Star Trek, but like the mayor has like 2 daughters that they stole from a family they killed. Like it's You're right. You could make. I mean, you could make a couple of different versions of this. I could see like the straight up horror version of this, which could be pretty creepy. And then there's also like the horror comedy version of this, which this sort of veers closer to.
Right. This is one where I'm like, what are the rights? Can I get the rights to this? Where it's like no one's doing anything with this. And
I think the rights, there's me pronouncing the quotes so you can definitely hear them this time, are calling Peter Weir.
Yeah, probably. And Peter Weir being like, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Because that's the thing is like there's certain things about this the execution I think is terrible because there's the sources of drama is these teens in the town are seemingly run wild, right? And
it's like an entire dystopia in this one like 5 square mile town.
Right. And what they don't do, because what I would do if I was making this, is you introduce the teens first and you go like, oh, okay, so this town's overrun by these unruly teens. And then you would learn the grift and go like, oh, okay, so the teens are almost kind of rebelling against
the grift a little bit.
The grift a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, you're right.
But then, yeah, and then they revealed the teens are in on the grift, which made it more confusing. But that first offer, which is like, you think the teens are the bad people, but they're actually the good people. The problem is they don't do that. They actually show the grift first. Then they show like the teens being unruly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, swap that. Like there's a way to present this story in a compelling way. Also, the main character, who is Napoleon, by the way.
Did you recognize him? I did, yeah. Ziggy Piggy.
Yeah, from Bill and Ted's. It's Napoleon.
It's Napoleon. Yeah.
He's fascinating because his premise is he gets in a car accident.
Yeah. I'm not sure I understand him. Like I said, I just saw this, so I'm super glad that we're going to get to talk through this because I'm not sure I've pieced all this together. But yeah, his whole thing is he has a phobia of driving because he's already killed one person
he
in
just
a car
drops
accident.
That.
Yeah. He casually drops it. It's insane. It's as casual as the medical drill. Like there's a little bit of like Dead Alive in this, just in the not in the gore, but just in the surreal goofiness of some of the things that happen in some of the scenes. Like he's definitely going for surreal in a lot of this.
It's hard to tell what he knows is weird and what.
That's true. Yeah, but yeah, he just throws it away like I killed an old man. Like he drove over an old man.
Yep. And then the mayor is talking to just kind of goes like, pedestrians. And I think that's what they're punctuating, which is like the mayor, he's killed so many. He
even says specifically, it's like old pedestrians are such a nuisance.
Yeah. But so he's driving through the town. His brother is driving because he's afraid of driving. He's
also not
crash.
allowed to, he said. He was acquitted of manslaughter, but he's not allowed to drive.
Yep. They get in a crash.
I apologize for yawning into the mic. I have an infant. Sorry, Dave. Continue.
No, it's fine. It's unclear how the crashes are caused. They just happen
They shine them,
on the road.
Basically.
Oh, yeah, they do headlights.
Yeah, they shine them. They're driving through this. There's a particularly dark mountain pass that they keep shining people through and they go off the edge, which is really funny at first before you know it's like a town-wide conspiracy. Like I thought it, like for the first half of this, I thought it was supernatural cars.
Well, they're doing animal noises every time the car.
Yeah, and it's he's making it in such a surreal way, and it's like you pointed out, everything is so weird, and like nobody's behaving like a real person.
Yeah.
So I just assumed something supernatural was going on, but the first time we see the hospital, I think it's the hospital. It's Arthur, our main character, or Alan, Arthur, I think. Napoleon is there with like the doctor or the police detective or some shit. I can't remember who this character was. He's the tall guy in the suit.
Yeah, this is not our fault.
No,
I want to make this clear.
It's made to be bewildering. I suppose to simulate Arthur's point of view.
I don't know because
like you said, it's hard to tell what is and isn't intentional.
Yeah,
it's Peter Weir, but it's also his first movie.
It's low budget. Like the car accidents for. When you were saying the lights shining, like that didn't immediately occur to me because the shots are them driving, and then it cuts to close on headlights turning on, and then it's like animal noises, and it'll then cut to like the driver just going like waving his hand. When people get in crashes in this, by the way, their instinct is do not grab the wheel, instead wave your arms like a Muppet, and that's what they do. And it's really fast cuts, and then it's like car going down the road, like crashing off the road, and you're just like, "What did I just see?"
Yeah.
Like, there's no like feeling of like cause and effect where you're like, "What happened to the car?" I think a tire falls off at one point, one of the cars, and it's like that's not the lights. The lights aren't making the tires fall off. It seemed like
it was supernatural, but of course, what happened is that car stopped at a service station.
Right, and they took the tire off. Yeah. And so like there's stuff like the town, I guess cop dresses kind of like a Nazi.
Oh, right, that's the cop. Yeah,
and that I think that's why you're like he's talking to I don't know who about what.
The tall, skinny guy in the suit. I think that actually might be the doctor.
Maybe.
Bruce Spence is running around in here. Did you see Bruce Spence?
Who's that?
He's the gyro captain from Road Warrior. He's Gaji, the hunter, in Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
That makes sense. It makes sense there was going to be at least one Mad Max actor in this.
He's one of the war boys.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie, I think, is his name. He's like kind of the main one, or one of the main ones.
But
the war boy in this movie, I meant, not in actual Mad Max. He's one of the hot rod teens in this one.
Yeah. But like the main character's arc, basically, the weirdest thing, and this is what you need to tweak in a remake.
The thing that I was trying to get to is, when we're in the hospital and he's talking about how the crash, like the guy that's explaining what happened in the crash to Arthur has this whole model of the cliff, like a really detailed, it looks like Warhammer terrain, and then like this little matchbox car to demonstrate. And because at this point you don't know it's a conspiracy in the whole town yet, so I had like written down in my notes, I was like, they made this whole model just to explain this accident. Like that looks like it took hours.
Yeah, they've had to explain it so many times that they made the model.
Yeah, they had this thing made a while ago.
Yeah. You know what this version of this movie could be? Hot Fuzz.
It's not dissimilar, yeah.
It's not dissimilar, but again, Hot Fuzz is a comedy. But that's, if people are wondering, like, that's the overall vibe I think they were going for, which is like, oh, look at the disruptive teens of this town, and then you realize the whole town is in on this, and it's actually, again, like, there's something to rebel against here. And it's a town-wide conspiracy for dumb reasons, is essentially what it is. But yeah, the main character, the thing that really confuses me is he fucking he basically gets adopted by the mayor, who's I think the same age as him. Like he's a
little bit old. He's about 10 years old.
My question, and this happened because the movie gaslights you the way it gaslights him, but like only near the end was I wrote the note, wait, can he call somebody? Meaning that what basically happens is this guy has a car accident in this town, is briefly put in the hospital, is released, and then just goes, I guess I live here now.
The doctor,
and it was like,
yeah, I mean, the doctor convinces, the doctor, it's not even the doctor, it's the mayor, actually. The mayor tells him as he's getting ready to leave. Yeah, Father Mayor. As he's getting ready to leave, he tells him, I talked to your doctor, and he says you shouldn't leave. Like, he convinces Arthur that he is, like, seriously emotionally disturbed and has all this baggage from his car accident, which is true. He does have an intense phobia, but, like, he gaslights him into being convinced he's like way more disabled by this thing than he actually is. So he convinces him to work at the hospital as an orderly. I think the grift starts from the mayor. I think he's just a tin pot dictator, right? Because at the very end, he's saying nobody can leave town because the roads are booby trapped. But we see Arthur driving past all the people who are leaving town and there's no booby traps.
Right.
And like we know he's lying to Arthur. So I think that's it. Like, I think that's the whole grift.
I think so too. And I do think they're working, like they work to gaslight him from the start. Like when they're showing him like photographs to make sure his brain's
he's doing his testing method. Yeah. And it's like such a...
and it's all car accidents at a certain point, and it's like, they're traumatizing him. This
is a weird comparison. Have you seen Freeway?
No.
It's an early Reese Witherspoon movie. It's her and Kiefer Sutherland, and it's like a big bad wolf, Little Red Riding Hood story. But anyway, there's a scene that's remarkably similar to that, and it's when you she's hitchhiking with Kiefer, and it's when you figure out Kiefer's a serial killer. Oh, because he's doing a similar thing. Anyway, it reminded me of Freeway. So if people are familiar with Freeway, they've probably thought the same thing. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's pretty good. Anyway,
yeah, I think so. Like, there's a lot of it that's just like clarity. We need clarity. So like, I actually get that idea that this guy is terrified of driving, right? Mm-hmm. And so he doesn't want to get behind the wheel of a car. They never really show a scene where he tries to leave, gets behind the wheel of a car.
They 100,000% do.
Do they?
Yeah.
What point?
It's initially when the doctor, the mayor, when the mayor,
okay,
after telling him he talked to his doctor, told him, you can stay here or you can accept our free, basically, he said, we're going to offer this treatment to you for free, or you can get in the car and drive away. And he gets in the car and has a full-blown panic attack, partially because when he first tries to get, like, he sits down, he's able to start the car and he's good, but then he starts to panic and he's like, no, I can't do it. He turns the car off and tries to get out, but his door is stuck. So he has like this, it's like a minute-long freak out.
Then at that point, he should call somebody.
Right. He should really call somebody.
Right. Like he should just say, I'm going to have my friend come get me.
Right.
And
his brother just died. Surely he must call his parents.
Yeah. Surely there are people. And if the movie established this idea that he doesn't have anybody, it would work.
It may have. Somebody may have said that in a piece of dialogue that I just missed. Like I said, my mind wandered quite a bit.
It's hard. Like, you should do something where it's like he's on the run or something like that. Like, he doesn't have anywhere to go. Trap the character more psychologically, because what happens is it just slowly becomes the mayor being like,
I think
you can become my son. Like, he adopts him as his son by the end,
even though he's like 9 years older than him.
Yeah. And he's like, son, you must go to the ball now, son. And it's like, what are we doing? This is fucking weird. And it's supposed to be weird, I think, but they didn't do the work to get it there. It felt like, where I wish like he stayed in the hospital more and they like broke him down slowly. And then in the hospital, maybe they were like, do you want a job working also in the hospital? Do you want a job becoming he becomes traffic cop? They like make him the town parking enforcer.
He's like writing people tickets.
It's like dream logic.
And that's like one of the last straws, right? That's partially what sends the teens over the edge.
Yeah. It's like,
oh, go ahead.
It's internal dream logic is what I mean, is like the main character just kind of seems like he just goes with whatever anybody tells him to do. Yeah.
This is me doing the movie's work for it a little bit, but like we mentioned, his brother just died. He's got the guilt of his previous manslaughter of, running over that pesky old person who shouldn't have even been on the road in the first place.
Yeah.
Need to remind everybody that we're all going to be old people one day. I mean, some of us.
But I'm racing you, Tom. I'll race you to the end.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
But we should do a tontine.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Fuck yeah. But yeah, I think we're supposed to, or we could infer that like he's just so racked with guilt that he's just
right there. Again, there's work they could do. I think it's just it just felt like it was just people going like, you should do this, and he goes, okay, you should do this, all right, and that's sort of it. I don't know why they didn't lobotomize him like they did the other people.
He seemed lobotomized though, which I think is intentional.
Yeah, and so I'm like, well, like if it was a real that he's heavily drugged or like they're doing something to him, but it never really like comes out. And then his arc is like, then the teens attack and the mayor's like, run over this guy, and he does without question. He just does anything the mayor says. Basically, he's like, yes, Father Mayor, I will, and he rams the car repeatedly into this guy, and then goes, I can drive.
Yeah.
and he's cured, which I don't mind that arc. And then he just leaves the town. And I was like, why do you even want to leave? I don't understand what you want, sir.
Yeah,
at that point.
I do love that.
He's just been doing everything they say. And then he's like, ooh, okay, bye.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Smartest move. Like, I liked the ending of him being like, peace.
Yeah, no, I got to get out of here, man. It looks like things are going downhill pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Good luck, though.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the breakfasts.
I think it's that he has no personality as a character. He's just sort of meek and quiet.
He's completely like, he plays it like so shattered.
Yeah.
That, you're right. He's just never, like his demeanor never really changes. He's so incredibly, like even when he's leaving in the end, like he's smiling, but he's still like so docile.
And I would argue, so is a lot of characters in this. Like, there were moments that felt almost twee, where it was two characters like, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm good. How are you?
That lady
and I'm like,
that he's like staying with? Yeah.
And maybe the idea is she's also broken down, but then give her something to, I don't know. It just felt at some points I was like, is this on purpose or are they just
He was a little bit
being so
it was a
quiet?
little taste of Stepford Wives there too.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it definitely gets like, because we keep giving different examples of this, so it definitely gets like I guess just the oddness of it. Like you definitely feel that something's off in this weird little town, this weird little freak town.
The daughters, for example, are good. Where like I'm also thinking of a movie like Get Out, where everybody's acting weird, and then you have a big reveal of go like, oh, that's why. And so like, but they don't know how to present that. So like the daughters are kind of meek at the dinner table. They're kind of regular children, I guess. And then the guy reveals like, oh yeah, we adopted them. They're orphans. And it's like, no,
that's what he says.
Reveal that near the end. Like reveal all this shit near the end.
Yeah, he just throws it away. You're right. I mean, it's still a reveal in that moment, and you're just like, because you do kind of realize what that means at that point, because I think we've seen enough of the grift at that point.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, he stole these children.
Right.
But it could have been more effective.
And well, and you don't like the main character just again rolls with everything.
He doesn't really react to it. Yeah. Like he doesn't seem to realize what it means, which is fine.
But like, imagine a version of this where it's like, okay, guy down on his luck, like maybe he robbed a bank and he crashes in this town. He goes to the hospital. They keep giving him meds. He's fuzzy. His brother's dead. He spends time in the hospital, and they start like slowly, like maybe no mayor, just have the doctor be the guy, and have him be like, you know, come meet my family, and we're getting you better, and everybody seems a little weird, and then like the horror element is like these teens are really aggressive and creepy and like harass you in town, and no one seems to want to do anything about it, and you could have like stuff there. You know, you can have like a thriller element and then have like the third act reveal be like, this is what's actually happening. They've kidnapped everybody. They're doing this car thing because they're all out of their minds. And the teens are actually kind of the better option. And then the teens rebel, destroy the town, and he gets the fuck out of there and have the same arc where he's like, I can drive again. But maybe do it by killing like the mayor, you know what I mean?
And not like agonizingly slowly ramming a man to death at the mayor's behest.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean,
weird.
I did love that as like a piece of satire. Like he gets out and like the shot is the dead guy hanging like mangled and bloodied out of the car. It's like almost exactly duplicating one of the photographs he was shown earlier. And he's standing right next to it and sort of like looking like he's having this epiphany, and he says, I can drive again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's clearly there's satire and there's like a deeper, higher meaning. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, I think it was an artistic choice, right? They didn't want to do the typical Hollywood thing and have him defeat the mayor, but it made his character very bizarre, and it made the whole movie, combined with the fact that the movie is just slow and sometimes muddled. It's like,
it's slow within scenes too. Like scenes take a very long time to play out.
Yeah, they really do.
It's weird. Like it's a really weird choice.
Yeah, it's slow and quiet and lifeless, and I couldn't tell if they knew what they were doing at any given point. Like, you know what my favorite scene probably is not the ending, surprisingly, the demolition derby, which was cool. But that
dude is like gonna fucking try to spear the spike car, and he just holds on to it way too long.
Yeah, and he gets impaled, and then the music gets sad, and I was like, wait,
who was that guy?
Yeah, am I supposed to be sad about this?
Yeah, that's the coolest thing that's happened so far.
Yeah, the music was tough. There's like a lot of car crashes to porn music, like 70s porn music.
Oh man, yeah.
And the music felt unmotivated in general, where it's like it felt like they were watching a different movie or something.
Sometimes it would kick in like appropriately and kind of be like, oh, this is a little bit creepy. All right, like it does like a bit of a thing type deal, not anywhere near as good or really that close to it, but it's like a similar intent. But yeah, other times it just felt kind of random.
Yeah.
Like, this movie really is like, it's so bewildering, and I think it's supposed to be, but there's such a thing as like, if you are attempting to make a movie that's bewildering and you succeed, then you've made a bewildering movie.
Right. I think the moral is this, and I'm going to make this not sound conservative. It's not a conservative message, actually, but like, kids out there, if you want to make art, get high first, then be sober and make the art sober. That's what I get out of this. And that's all to say, I'm like, I feel like they were on drugs while making it.
Yeah, both parts of it. And no,
yeah,
you need a middleman.
And it's like, it's okay to do drugs and be inspired by drugs. Drop acid, go to the woods, get ideas. But when it comes time to like put down the camera,
the actual work,
yeah, do the work.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be sober. Not everybody can be Hunter S. Thompson. I'm sorry.
He couldn't even be Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the feeling I got from this, which is like, I just imagining like clouds of weed smoke in the editing room.
Oh, yeah.
And just like, should we put animal sounds in there? Yeah, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, put a fucking elephant sound in there.
What'll it mean? I don't know, but it'll be spooky, and maybe it'll make people think it's like supernatural, because it definitely did that to me. Oh, we're doing the wrong voices, too. It'll make them think it's supernatural.
Oh, yeah. Australian stoner, I'm not ready to try that voice.
Oh God, no! If I even attempt it, it'll be a hate crime. I lost my train of thought, but anyway.
It's all right. Oh, I wanted to note what my favorite scene was.
Sure.
And I don't know if this was the point of the scene. I think it was, for the most part, it was the ball. The town costume party ball. I love that in the 70s, this was like a trope, whereas like a town ball was a thing. It feels
yeah. I don't know. I mean, entertainment's scarce, I guess. This is also like early 70s in super rural parts of the country.
Right.
So like, I mean, stuff took a long time. Like, I mean, electricity took a long time to roll out all the way across the country here in the States. So I'm sure it was probably the same situation.
Yeah.
But you don't have shit to do.
What made the ball so off-putting is it's a costume party, and no one there seems like they want to be there. They're all dancing and emoting like a Disney animatronic from like the 60s. And
it's like the ballroom in the Haunted Mansion.
It is. And they're all kind of dressed up, but it's kind of half-assed, all their costumes. And then they bring in the mental hospital patients and dress them up like this is like a fun thing. But at the whole time, everybody looks miserable. And I couldn't tell if that was because they did a bad job making the movie or because it sort of is like a great idea for this town of people trying to pretend to be normal. Like, that's how I interpreted it. That was what I thought was brilliant. If that was their intent, is they're a cult. The town's a cult, and they're killing people for their car parts and they don't really know why. And they're basically
no real
like
reason. Yeah, they like go and then trade like the clothes and stuff in town, but they just trade it for goods. Like we see a couple of people that are like, tires needed, we'll give you beans, or like whatever. It's like a barter system. So it's
a bad economy.
Yeah,
bad grift. The Australian government should raise this town, just bomb it flat. Like, we did a bad job. This town did a bad job. Of being
we wouldn't even need a whole bomb.
Yeah,
just like Padawan. It's not a very big town.
It is not. It is a road.
It is not. It is a single road.
Yeah, but the ball
like
was a great.
Deadwood is bigger than this town.
Yeah. But if their intent was that, like, it's a bunch of people playing house, essentially. Like, pretending that we're a normal town. But like that, I don't know. Was that the point of the dance or not? Am I over interpreting it?
You're probably right. I was just, my explanation or sort of like half justification, I guess, was just trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. Cause I know, like, you do weird shit and like, towns and cities still organize like public events and stuff, like, I guess a more modern version would be like, we would have like we had this place called like Tidewater Park where I grew up. It's like free concert series, Tidewater Park. You know, they'd get like state fair level bands to come play and shit. So I just assumed it was something like that. But like, because it's so Children of the Corn, I think you're probably right.
Right. I like that idea of like, we're all normal. We're fine. And we're having a party. And it's like, nobody really knows how to be normal.
And
it was
trotting out the patience could have been more of a reveal, you know, like sort of, well, not more of a reveal necessarily, but more of a reveal, like sort of like the Flesh Circus in AI, or like in the beginning of BioShock Infinite, if you've ever played that, where you realize what the lottery is.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a great moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, shit like that, where it's like, I liked that idea. I wouldn't even mind the ball happening after we know what's up. It's just, I liked that. Like, it reminded me of, this is another movie that I think, very good movie, but should get a remake just because I think people have forgotten it, called The King of Hearts. It's from like the 60s, I want to say. It's a great premise. It's about, it takes place, I think, during World War I. It's in France, and a small village basically gets the occupying force evacuates the village, and I think they leave a bomb there. But the main draw of the idea is it's a town that I think Germans leave the town, and then there's a local mental institution, and all the inmates get out and just assume positions at the town because the town's completely empty.
Yeah.
And the movie is about a single soldier who is just like walking by and comes into the town after this has happened and doesn't know that they've all assumed these positions, and just starts living in the town with everybody and not realizing that like they're all like, and it's sort of this idea about like, what does it mean to be insane, et cetera, where it's like he starts a relationship with someone in the town, stuff like that. It was a very cool idea. But that's all that to say that like, there's this impression of that, like these people are playing town in a way, where they're like, see, we're totally normal.
Yeah.
I'm the mayor. I have a hat, I'm the doctor.
Yeah.
And
we have a ball where we dress up our patients. Wait, what?
Yeah. Exactly. What are you doing?
It's a costume ball. In April?
Huh. All right, I guess.
Weird. Come to prom. To what?
This movie has all those ingredients.
Yeah.
It's just like
they're just all executed in ways that I would not have done, but I'm not Peter Weir. Or I guess in ways that could have maybe been better. Or more effective.
That's honestly my thought of this. It's always weird going through like older films where you're like, I don't know, maybe this was what it was like at the time. But like looking at like,
it could have definitely been part of the movement in Australia at the time
right,
that we're just not aware of, and But
looking up how well this movie did, I'm like, nah.
I mean, people definitely weren't into it at the time. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is to me like in Great British Bake Off, where someone has a great idea for a cake, and then they just fuck it up, and it tastes like crap.
You just can't pull it off. Yeah, sometimes your vision, you just can't pull it off.
Yeah, it's too stodgy or whatever they call it, and it's just cake. I mean, not the movie, but yeah.
And it frequently happens at the beginning of people's careers, right? Because you're not really familiar with your own. With making a realistic evaluation of your own limitations quite yet. So you're still like thinking all these huge ideas, like I can do this and this and this and this and this, and then you get a cake that can't stay together.
Right, exactly. And it's like, take it slow.
Yeah, man.
Take it slow.
Keep it simple, stupid. Just make a little cake.
Yeah. And I'm sure Peter Weir wouldn't deny any of what we're saying in that regard, right? Like,
he's Australian. He'd probably beat the shit out of us and tell us we were wrong. You're not watching it right. Stomp on your fucking neck.
Oh man, and he'd be right to do that too.
Yeah, we would deserve it.
Yeah,
because how many movies have I fucking made?
Yeah, but he clearly went on to make
good movies.
Good movies. So I'm like, yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he can take the criticism.
He figured it out. Old Peter Weir.
He made Witness.
He did.
Witness. He made Fearless.
Didn't he also
made Dead
do?
Poets
Didn't he also do
Society.
Glory? No, he didn't do Glory. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he did Master and
That was
Commander.
Zwick, Edward Zwick.
Yeah, he did Master and Commander, and he did fucking Green Card. Remember Green Card? I like Green Card.
Oh, is that the Gerard Depardieu comedy?
I think so. Yeah, I only saw it once, but I enjoyed it. It was delightful. It is, yeah.
Sweet.
I mean, maybe I only saw it as a kid, so maybe I'll watch it now and go like, "Whoa, this is racist." But no, I remember it being quite good. It's got Andy McDowell. It's
Well,
fun.
what do you know?
But yeah, this movie. So yeah, a little peek behind the curtain. We were going to cover this months ago, and then Tom
Yes.
had a baby.
I did.
And,
Rudely, the baby decided to be born.
Yeah, and so I watched it back then, and then that happened, and then I had to watch it again now, and that was too many times. I think it's too many times. Like twice is too many. Once is too many, probably. This movie is like, this isn't a movie night movie. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
No, it's
most
not.
of it is people talking in a very drab room,
It's-
very quietly.
Yeah, I do want to underline that. It is not as fun as it probably sounds from the way we're describing it, because like we were saying, it's very slow. It's slow within scenes. So even
Yeah.
all this outlandish stuff takes a long time to unfold.
Yeah, once the shit goes down, the ending sequence
The
when
ending's
they
pretty
like
fun,
attack
yeah.
the car. Yeah, it becomes like a mini Mad Max, and the car, the cars are.
Yeah, and it's hard not to think about Mad Max when you're watching this too. And I guess it's just, I don't want to say that like, because again, I have no idea what like the movement was like in Australia at this time, but it definitely feels like he's playing in a space that is just not for him. Because because
Yeah.
you see Mad Max and like Road Warrior, which are made, Mad Max more was made right around kind of this, closer to this, and it's just like, well, George Miller like so totally owns that space. Like he's
Yeah,
like so
again,
much
it's
more
like-
kinetic and Peter Weir's intent was different, but it's just, I don't know, it's impossible not to compare the two films.
Oh yeah, because it's sort of like, if you're gonna watch this movie, watch the ending.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm like, or just
Watch
watch Mad Max. Because
Same
the ending
basic
stuff,
idea.
yeah, but executed better.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, where I'm like, okay, is this an art film because it needs to say something more? Is this a comedy because it needs to be funnier? Is this a thriller because it needs to be more thrilling? Where it's like, when most of the movie is just people in a room being like, hello, hi, let's talk very slowly and quietly about things. It's just like, is this a drama? Because it's also not that. You need your character, like, it's just, seriously, remake it. Peter Weir.
Yeah.
I know you're listening. I know you Google this movie every night. Remake it, because it's not a bad idea. It's just
No, and there's good stuff
make it
in it.
digestible.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, make it a little more lively. I don't know. Like I said, a little more kinetic or something, because like
Make it a thriller. Have
Yeah.
actual like action more, or make the characters, the main character just a little more like something, anything likable, hateable, like a person who has.
yeah, he's
Personality.
so like docile. He's just completely passive, which I'm sure was intentional.
But like, again, like the mayor isn't, if you want him to be docile, have the mayor be fun. And it's like the mayor's not fun. Not really.
No, he's a certain type of villain that you definitely dislike, but like
Right.
he's not like a
But it's
fun
like-
villain like Hans Gruber or anything.
Right. Or like
The-
get like Nick Offerman in there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
or a comedian. Like, I guess Nick Offerman's a comedian, but like, he's been
Right, well, I was-
playing a little serious lately.
When you said that, I specifically thought of him in Devs. Like, because that is
Yeah.
the way you could play the mayor in this.
yeah, for sure.
Like the best way, because there's good stuff in here that is like gonzo and weird and funny. I guess the best way to describe the experience of watching this film for me was like a joke that's pretty funny, but it's like the person who's telling it is drawing the punchline out for way
Yeah.
too long. Like,
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
like, just come on, dude. Like, I don't like. I know you're
And I
trying to
don't-
tell me something. I'm not.
They're
quite
drawing it
getting
out.
it.
Yeah, and then they also like accidentally say the punchline too early.
Yeah.
And then they get things wrong because I still don't know.
Homer telling the scary story. Did I mention she was dead? No. Well, she was.
I still don't understand like what the relationship between
I think it's just an old guard, new guard thing, right?
I guess so. It's a rebellion within this other thing.
Right. You sort of like, I don't know. Like
the young people
you
are
have
in
to
on
play
it.
the game, but the game sucks. Like we all have to like pay taxes, but it sucks.
Right. And like if the town's just unhinged, that's the other part where did you get the feeling where it's I kept like trying to search for a higher meaning of what they were doing, where I was like, surely there's more to it. You almost need a scene where the mayor reveals that he built like a wife out of a car and he starts fucking the car wife or something, where you're just like, oh, they're a cult. They're out of their minds. Got it. You know,
or like a little more of like, he's the villaging them. Like a little more, like you do get the sense we were saying earlier at the end that he's engineered this because he says the thing about, oh, there's traps, so you can't drive out of here, but he doesn't seem to encounter any traps. So I don't know, maybe something in that direction, like a little more clearly, like that he has engineered this whole cult around himself. Because you're right, like when we get to the end, we still don't really understand what's happened here and kind of what it's supposed to mean, unless it's just sort of like,
no idea.
Here is a place that sort of like has been forgotten by time, I guess, because they're not like they're contemporary to 1974, but like we said, they're out in the middle of nowhere and they don't really seem to be connected to modern life much.
Right. And it's like, okay, so is this an off the highway where it's like this town had died because of the highway and now we're trying to get back some economic, like, you know, like, is it that idea? Is it supposed to be about small forgotten town?
Yeah.
But then there's the part where he kills the man and is like, I can drive. So is it about like desensitization of like the death machine of capitalism and society,
like the
of like
arbitrary nature of laws? Like you've killed one person.
Right.
So now you're no longer fit to drive. But if you killed
car culture,
if you killed one person, but it was the right kind of accident, you can still drive. Right. Yeah, car culture. The idea of, I mean, this is a stretch, but I mean, we keep comparing it to Mad Max. The idea of like fossil fuels and our dependence on like a way of life that is depletion, like at its core, because they're just harvesting these cars that are, for no reason, they're ultimately just going to be junk, but it's just because they like making crazy shit out of them.
Right.
I don't know.
It could be about fucking Vietnam for all we know. Yeah. That's a problem. That's a problem with the movie.
I know it fits, but like the first time I saw like James Cameron come out and be like, "Oh yeah, Aliens about Vietnam," I was like, "The fuck are you talking about?"
Is it? I thought it was about fucking aliens,
I thought
man.
It was about aliens.
Yeah, I thought it was an awesome thing that I watched as a kid.
Yeah.
But your version is good too. Your idea.
The thing you said, I can connect those dots to. Sure,
right? Because like we mentioned, the cop that's like dressed, I think, like a Nazi. Because someone recognized, he says like, "You have a peculiar costume there" to him, and I don't even know if he's supposed to be the cop. But
he
and
seems
then I'm like,
like it.
Yeah, and it's like, what is that supposed to mean? Is it just this broad satire on life, where it's like, you know, cops are Nazis? Anyway,
I don't know.
Next thing, like, is it a series of? I think that might be it, where it's like a political cartoon someone made while drunk, you know, where it's like it's just muddled.
Right, just.
This movie's fucking weird.
Some like pork barrel issues, and it's like an arrow pointing at a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I hate political cartoons. I know that's not a hot take. But every single one, even the ones I agree with, I literally have the same reaction every time where I go, "Yep, that's the thing."
It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird thing that we do, but like they're invaluable from a historical perspective.
Yes, I know. And I feel like it has to do with like we have to really explain this to some people. where it's just like, yep, that sure is like Elon Musk robbing Uncle Sam.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's weird you labeled him Uncle Sam. I can tell he's Uncle Sam.
Right, I see the
but
hat.
Yeah.
No, not too
But
many
you
dudes
wrote
dressed
Uncle
like that.
Sam under him too. All right.
In fact, I can think of exactly one person that dresses like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we say that guy is dressed like Uncle Sam.
I guess it's for someone who looks at it and goes like, what is that? Is that like a foppish Lincoln? Is that like
What is this, like Candy Striper Lincoln?
Yeah.
Like fucking Jersey Shore cotton candy salesman Lincoln? Like he's tying
Yeah, what is
balloon
this?
animals for you while you're waiting to go on the
What
Ferris
is
wheel?
this? That's not what this movie's about.
No,
But-
I don't know what this movie's about.
I don't know. I don't
Seems
fucking
like it's
know.
about a few things.
Yeah. Again, it screams of this was my first movie.
Yeah.
And I'm figuring out what movies are. And like, I don't know, if you're a film buff, watch it, I guess. If you like films that are maybe historically significant or fascinating as a
It's definitely interesting to watch because, Peter Weir is a noteworthy, significant director. And
yeah,
this is a pretty, I mean, it's a unique movie.
it is. But also, it's kind of not interesting to watch.
No.
I think it's not a fun movie to watch. It's boring. It's slow.
Yeah,
but like,
I don't know. It's like I'm trying to recommend it in like a Master of Disguise sort of way. And that like just watch this film to see how wrong every decision can be.
well, that's the thing.
But that's
is
not
like,
even what this is. This is
No.
like he's making what seems I don't know. It's
ironically, it's not like watching a car wreck. That's the thing.
no. It's watching somebody with a very specific vision that you can't understand what it was.
Right.
Quite.
It's more like watching a car be neglected over a year. Like
Yeah.
that's It's
Watching
like a
grass
slow destruction.
slowly grow
Yeah.
underneath
Yeah.
that car that you're definitely going to fix.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just put it on the train tracks, light it on fire, and that's the train's problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what they
That's how
say?
we get
You know what
rid
they
of
say?
things.
Trains never give up. It's dead.
exactly.
Yeah.
Train tracks they're nature's dump.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
nature's ocean.
Yeah. That's where you put things that you want to
Wanna
disappear.
Disappear. Just put them on the train track.
It's not your problem
Nature's
anymore.
ocean. Yeah. Just let it disappear.
That's what Doc Brown did.
Exactly right. Yeah.
It works.
Yep. It vanished
It
into
works,
thin
it
air.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That DeLorean just disappeared.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like I could talk about this movie for another hour,
Yeah.
but
But we should probably stop.
we should probably stop. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean,
Don't need to. I don't know, man.
I say watch it. I mean, if you're a film person, I say watch
It's-
it. Especially if you're
yeah.
like a fan of Peter Weir's movies, you definitely want to give it a look and be like, huh.
It's listed as a cult classic, and to that I'm like, is it? I guess everything's a cult classic.
I'm certain it has its fan base.
Yeah. So yeah, yet another Steven. Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean that. This was a fascinating watch. I
Yes.
get like you said, I get why Stanley Kubrick liked this movie.
I can see some of his sensibilities in there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe that's why I liked it. Oh, he's watching. It's like, oh, this guy clearly saw Clockwork Orange. I like this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy's a fan. Cool.
This guy's a fan. Cool. Chill.
So thank you, yet another Steven.
Yeah. Thank you.
This was through our Patreon. Patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. GAMEFULLY unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts on there for just $5 a month. You get access to Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and Spiel Boys. There's other tiers, obviously. Custom We Just Watched episodes, which is what this is.
Yeah.
Or for just $10 a month, you get to watch movies with us every Friday night. We do that every Friday night.
We won't watch
We watch
this.
movies on
We
our Discord.
will not watch this one.
We absolutely won't watch this.
We may watch a Peter Weir film.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could
I'd
have a
watch
dad
Dead
movie
Poet
night
Society.
and unleash Master and Commander or Dead Poet Society.
Yeah, I'd watch the shit out of those.
We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store where you have all kinds of cool original artwork by cool original artists like Michael Vincent Bramley, Starlene Hodge, Justin Brown, and others. Got some new stuff in there. Also some Mulder stuff, Batman stuff from all of our different shows. It's fun.
It is fun.
Check it out.
Did you know in the Truman Show, remember the guy in the bathtub?
No.
You don't remember the guy in the bathtub?
I only saw Truman Show one time.
You know how they show all the people watching the Truman Show?
Yes.
And they're like cheering along. One of them's a guy watching in his bathtub. I'll never forget him. It's the guy from this. I didn't realize that.
Which guy?
It's Napoleon.
Oh, it's Napoleon? Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that makes
Good
sense.
for him. Good for Napoleon. They should have, I don't know. They should have got him for the Napoleon movie.
Honestly, yeah.
Why not? Why not?
It would have worked. It would have been a beautiful piece of stunt casting.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Yeah. Leave us a review, rate and review. It helps. And check out our new show, Badical, Badical. New episodes are coming soon. Probably in April.
Sounds good.
All right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
Hopefully,
like hearing
I'll
that.
at least get it out before the cars eat Paris again.
Yes. Again, not the one you're thinking. There's such a better movie in this title.
Not the Paris you're thinking. Not the definition
Texas
of
one.
eat you're thinking.
Yep.
It's not even the Texas one. Yeah, it's according to the Wikipedia, it's a fictional town in this particular province of Australia.
Don't make a movie don't say. I figured it was at least a real town. At least. False advertising. I'm suing.
The real town would be pretty upset about this movie, I would think.
I would be honored. I'd be like, we're the fucking...
Yeah, it's going to help without terrorism.
Yeah.
Get him on down here. That's what I imagine the tourism director for Paris, Australia sounds like.
I'm going to go to Australia and demand to see Paris.
Yeah. And the cars.
Mad. Yeah. I'm going to get killed in Australia. Hey, listen, our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can find him on twitter.com as The Corlew or go to shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. For more of his work, go to mvbramley.art. Our episode artwork is by Justin Brown, available on Twitter as Justin T. Brown or at artnessbyjustinbrown.com. And finally, additional artwork is by Starlene Hodge. You can find her work at starlenearts.com or on Twitter as StarleneX. Cool. Goodbye.